So first, guys, I'd like to just give an apology ahead of time. My voice is a little bit messed up, and I'll do the best I can. So today, I'm going to be informing you guys about sex trafficking, and it's a rising issue. But before we get going, I'd like to share a story with you. Sarah Dunsey is a 17-year-old girl that was taken from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. She has been missing ever since, and her family misses her dearly.
January 15th, our daughter Sarah Dunsey was abducted from Las Vegas, Nevada. She's being held against her will, and Sarah is a victim of sex trafficking. This is my absolute worst nightmare. We need Sarah home. We have to have her home. I cannot wonder where she is and if she's safe. Please help us find her. Sarah Barra, this message is for you. I want you to fight because I need you. All of us need you. The world needs you, so fight, okay? We're coming to get you.
This heartthrobbing story of Sarah Dunsey, it intrigued me to learn more about sex trafficking. Sometimes we're all guilty of this. Sometimes we're oblivious to what happens outside of our county lines. But I feel as though sex trafficking cannot be ignored anymore. I feel like it's my duty to inform you all about the issue of sex trafficking. Based on the research I've conducted, I've decided it is important to share the knowledge I have obtained, because I feel as though it is my duty to help families like Sarah Dunsey. So this morning, I would like to bring to your attention the nationwide issue of sex trafficking and inform you of the proper precautions that need to be taken. Let's begin this morning by learning why sex trafficking is so relevant. This image is provided by the Polaris Project, and in this image, it's basically showing you the hot spots. And what I mean by hot spots is where sex trafficking is most prevalent. So, to explain further, the darker red here would be like, where you see the most activity of sex trafficking. Some of this lighter yellow, bluish, there's not that much activity. One thing I'd like to point out, though, is that a very hot spot, actually, is Wichita. Wichita is ranked, according to the Polaris Project as well, Wichita is ranked in the top 5 cities for most active in sex trafficking. And, it might be strange, you might think, oh, well, it's not really that big of a city when you compare it to others in the world, but what makes Wichita so easy for human traffickers to come in and do horrible things is that the major highways that run through Wichita. So what they actually do is they'll come in and what they call it is recruiting. So they come in and they recruit people and then take off on the highways. According to a study conducted by the Polaris Project, 8,042 cases of human trafficking just last year. 73% of those were cases of sex trafficking. This is awful, but it's also important to know what happens to the victims and what the victims are doing. The effects of human trafficking. According to a report by the Polaris Project, 59% of the victims were less than 20 years old. This is scary to me because and it's probably scary as you guys too, because I care about the youth, and right now, currently, we're still the youth, right? We're the future, right? And to hear that 59% of the victims are less than 20 years old, it scares me. So, what kind of effects are these victims experiencing? The effects of human trafficking victims. Physical impacts may include bodily injuries, possibility of HIV, but maybe, most detrimental effects and impacts that these victims may experience are psychological impacts, like PTSD. We've all heard about it, and anxiety. Cannot be overlooked. It's pretty substantial. But victims are not the only people getting affected. If you think about it, every time that you get hurt, your family is also struggling with you. So that's why families and friends are affected just as much. In fact, maybe even they're experiencing the same type of anxiety. Every time you step out of the house, they're going to be worried that something might happen. So what can be done? What type of legal action is being taken? The Players Project, I've mentioned it a few times already. The Players Project is a leader in the fight, global fight, to eradicate modern slavery. They basically they help people by providing hotlines. They provide services to assist people for recovery, and they provide people with information about the proper precautions that need to be taken in order to help the sex trafficking cause and human trafficking as well. I was interested to learn what Kansas's stand was on this issue, and they're very involved. They're one of the top states in the nation in that category, actually. They used a four-pronged approach to preventing sex trafficking and human trafficking. They focus on prevention, protection, prosecution, and partnership. Here's a video of the Kansas Attorney General speaking about human trafficking.
I'm Derek Schmidt, your Kansas Attorney General. Human trafficking is the second largest and fastest growing criminal industry in the world. More than 82% of human trafficking involves domestic victims, and the majority of these are children. The U.S. Justice Department has identified Kansas as an originating state for human trafficking, which means it's our own kids who are at risk. All exploited children are victims, even if no force or coercion is present. Kansas has adopted new laws to protect and rescue human trafficking victims, especially children. If you or someone you know is being trafficked, report it. January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. It's time to take a stand and make a difference. Together, we can stand up for human dignity in Kansas. Call the National Human Trafficking Resource Center hotline, 888-373-7888.
So, now that you all know what type of legal action we're taking, I feel like it's important, and you're all probably wondering, what can we do? So, I'd like to inform you guys about what you guys can do. So, here's a list of the indicators. And what I mean by indicators is you go out and maybe you see these types of things, and these should bring up red flags. Living with the employer. You see somebody they're living with an employer. Maybe they're living in poor living conditions. If you see multiple people in a cramped space, the individual has a tough time speaking one-on-one. Their answers may seem, somewhat scripted. the employer is holding their identity documents, like their ID, their passport, something like that, the employer or the person that they're with all the time, is always holding onto those documents. And just informing you guys about this gives you a lot more knowledge than what the everyday person has. And that's why I feel like it is so important. Because now you can step outside this classroom and be able to help someone. You might even be able to help the next Sarah Dunty. So if you notice any of these indicators or have suspicion that there may be an issue, please call the hotline. That's basically the end of my speech, but I'm sure you guys are all wondering, what happened to Sarah Dunty. So. Sarah Dunty was found due to the proper precautions taken. Their family put it out to the world. They got a hold of the authorities. All the steps that were taken were the correct ones. And Sarah is